Good morning, or perhaps even afternoon to some of you, and welcome to today's webinar, Boost Bookings and Learn How to Use VBrochure to Drive More Business. We're going to give everyone another 30 seconds to join in the interim. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Darlene Rondo, and I'm the Vice President Best Practices for VFM Leonardo's online merchandising group. And essentially what that means is that I work with the leading brands and travel associations around the world, heightening the awareness of online visual merchandising and how it can be used to improve a hotel's online presence and inevitably increase bookings. So if the spirit moves you, please follow me on Twitter. And just a couple more housekeeping items. First of all, we are recording our webinar today, and at the conclusion, we'll be sending you a thank you for joining us email with a link to that recording that you can listen to again or you can share with others. As well as we're going to be entertaining questions throughout our webinar as well as at the end of our session today. There is a questions dialog box in your GoToMeeting panel. In fact, I see some of you have already found it. In fact, we have a hotel guest here from the UAE who is telling me that it's evening there in that part of the world. So good evening to you, and thank you for joining us. We're also going to be tweeting during today's webinar using hashtag VFML webinar. So please, as we move through, you can certainly send in your questions and comments to us through Twitter. So today's agenda is going to review several topics. We're going to look at the trends in online shopping behavior in the digital age. We'll be reviewing our VBrochure product to maximize your online marketing efforts and familiarize you with the products that we have. So there will be a product section of our webinar today, as well as we're going to talk about how to tell your hotel story online to really capture the attention of hotel shoppers. And then lastly, we're going to look at how guests are socializing and mobilizing in today's environment. I'm really happy to have with us today a special guest speaker, Warren Wheatley. Warren is the Cluster Sales Manager at the Holiday Inn Guelph Hotel and Conference Center. And Warren is going to share his particular experience with VBrochure a little later on in the presentation. So thank you, Warren, for joining us. A pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about how we work with hoteliers in the industry. The world's largest chains use our VScape platform to distribute hotel photos to the V network. Many also use our V-powered multimedia player to display rich media for their hotels on their brand sites. In addition, many brands, chains, and rep companies of all sizes and categories use our VBrochure online merchandising system as an option to help their properties visually merchandise online and drive more bookings. So what does this mean for you? Well, if one of your hotels belongs to any of our partners, then your hotel photos are being managed and distributed through us. But online travel shoppers want to see more than photos when researching hotels online, a subject we're going to touch on in a minute. You'll have the opportunity to enhance your hotel's online presence with richer media like virtual tours, floor plans, and video. All of these things increase conversions. This is one online merchandising tool that you can use, and it really is a critical part of your hotel's e-business strategy. That said, let me give you a little bit of background on VFM Leonardo. Essentially, we're an online media company that helps hotels increase bookings by providing a visual merchandising platform to engage the shopper and tell a better story. And then we expose your hotel's story to the widest audience possible. Last year, we reached more than 100 million consumers. Here you see a partial snapshot of some of the most recognizable channels in the global travel industry. And what you'll notice here is that there's a mix of both traditional travel sites like Travelocity, Orbitz, and non-traditional or non-transactional sites like TripAdvisor, Facebook, and video sharing sites. Also note the corporate and meeting planning websites. And as I'll show you in a minute, our visual merchandising platform can be customized to show and describe how your hotel has the features and amenities important to all kinds of travelers, business or leisure, and regardless of the device they're using, whether that's from a tablet, a smartphone, or a laptop. Even though we're living in a digital environment, the most critical part of our world today is still the people, or in other words, your audience, your guests. And this is where they're going to shop for travel, in particular, hotels. I want to start by talking a bit about what's going on in the industry in terms of hotel shopper behavior, specifically where and how they're researching hotels today. But like all online shoppers, those looking for travel want rich visual experiences that help them better understand and feel comfortable about the decision that they're considering. And they want to do it on many different websites throughout what is a nonlinear and a complex shopping journey that starts with research to comparison, purchase, post-purchase, and then sharing. And a typical guest, interestingly, is going to use more than 24 touch points to research their trip. So think about that for a second. That's more than 24 different places a potential guest could be seeing your hotel before they even make a decision to book. That means that there are a lot of opportunities to grab their attention and make a great impression. Question is, are you taking advantage of all those opportunities? As I mentioned, consumers are going to different sites for different reasons and at different stages. Inevitably, the majority of travelers are going to visit brand.com or several brand.coms to get the hotel's direct perspective. But also note that effectively, the same percentage of people are also going to visit an online travel agency, like Travelocity, because they want to see what hotels are available in the area. Similarly, 83% are going to go to a travel review site like Travelocity because they want to read what others are writing about their property. And a large majority will check out a meta search engine like Kayak to compare prices. The point is that they're going to many different sites in unpredictable ways looking for different things. What shoppers see about an individual hotel should be consistent, relevant, and interesting across all the sites they're using. Otherwise, the hotelier risks not even making the shopping list of possible hotels to consider in this decision. So at this point in our webinar, I'd like to take a poll of the audience. And I'm going to launch the poll. And what you're going to see is what you're going to see here is a question that's going to pop up on the screen. And let's just launch the poll. And the question I'd like you to answer is, what is your hotel's biggest marketing challenge today? And I'd just like you to select the answer that most closely resembles what you're experiencing. So you can choose from, my biggest challenge is how to reach my potential guests, or getting hotel shoppers to choose my hotel, or both apply to my experience. So while these answers are coming in, we're waiting for the majority of folks to weigh in on these answers, and we have almost 80% of the folks who have who've weighed in. So we'll just give everybody a couple more seconds to register their answer. But it's looking like at this point that by and large people are wondering how to reach their guests, and then secondarily how to get the hotel shopper to choose them. And a large number of you say those are two challenges that are equally in my purview. So, okay, thanks everybody for weighing in on that. That helps us as we go through our webinar today so that we know we know what to emphasize, and it helps give us a good understanding of what to focus on for future content as well. So at this point, we will continue with the webinar. Now we're going to discuss visual merchandising actually at a deeper level. And we're going to talk about how to actually provide the travel shopper with richer experiences with the objective of getting them to spend more time learning about your property and presenting them with your story in a really compelling way. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. So at this point, I'm going to introduce you to VBrochure. Here's an overview of what VBrochure consists of with an ultra premium license. You are able to publish all of your media using a single source via VScape. You'll be able to add large quantities of rich visuals with matching written descriptions. There's an analytics tool that's available to supplement your reporting objectives. Your hotel will be presented to the largest online media network in the industry. And we have customer success managers who will guide and support you along the way, as well as the VBrochure Ultra Premium also includes a mobile hotel website or a mobile media gallery plus a Facebook suite of applications. Your hotel's description and associated media is going to be displayed in a mini website or a player so that you can control the experience the consumer has, which helps set you apart from your competition. And all of these elements in the VBrochure online merchandising platform are designed to help your hotels book more rooms. So here I'm going to show you what a consumer's experience would be like using an example on Travelocity, and it's going to be shown through the traveler's eyes. So here we see the consumer shopping around, and they come to Travelocity and they see a link to photos. And so when the consumer clicks on that photos, they're taken to a series of flat photographs that are showing the consumer what the hotel looks like. Now contrast that with a hotel that subscribes to VBrochure, and now the consumer has a secondary link that is labeled video and more photos. And so when the consumer clicks on that link, now they're presented with big, beautiful, and bold photos within the player, which has associated descriptions. So it gives the consumer not only a really good idea of what their experience is going to be like, but also putting into context what they're looking at. And this approach makes their virtual visit to your hotel much more memorable, increasing the likelihood that they will choose you. And we're going to spend most of our time looking at the most visible component of the VBrochure system with the players. So at this point, I'm going to break it down for you using the High Peaks Resort up in lovely Lake Placid. So as I said, the player is like a mini website, and it has 5 distinct elements. A few minutes ago, we were looking at the hotels to choose from, and now the shopper with this mini player is focused entirely on your property. So the player houses all of your content, videos, virtual tours, and photographs, and displays them in full screen high definition. One of the key features is the ability to create custom tabs so that you can create your media and display it in its proper context, because when you put it in context, the shopper can quickly see that you offer exactly what they're looking for, making for a richer experience and increasing the likelihood that they will choose your property. The text display window allows you to further market each media item to the shopper, describing the details of what you offer and giving the shopper some context to what they're seeing and the control to really sell your property. Also, you can drive consumers back to your booking engine, which completes the transaction. And as we know, people love to share, particularly online, and this feature with the share button makes it super easy for them to spread the word about your property. Let's move on to VScape. This is the system that your brand uses to manage your photos. But when you subscribe to VBrochure, you get a slightly different licensing arrangement that allows you to build the multimedia player right within this web-based module. You can drag and drop the media into the appropriate tab. You can write and associate your text copy with the media items, and you can view reports that show you where and how often your visual media and content is being viewed. It also includes a central source to manage your mobile hotel website and your suite of Facebook apps at no additional charge. And when you make changes in VScape, they happen in virtually real time on all of the sites that display your player along with your mobile player and your Facebook app. So it really gives you a level of control. You simply don't have another way. And it allows you to decide how you want to be seen by the travel shopper rather than allowing the site to decide how to present your hotel. As a point of note, before we continue into Warren's presentation, I would just like to say a word and to sunset a misconception in the world of video production today. What I'd like to point out is that you actually don't have to spend a fortune producing a video today that captures people's attention. There are options out there for all kinds of budgets due to the competitiveness of the market and the current technology that's available for production. So as an example, we can take a series of your digital photographs and stitch them together and make them look like a video, all for just $99. And then you would take that video and put it into production. So as I said, there are options for everyone out there starting as low as $99. So I just wanted to put that out there because I often get questions about, gee, I really don't have the budget to make a video. So there are options out there for everyone. So at this point, I am going to reintroduce Warren Wheatley. And as I mentioned before, Warren is from the Holiday Inn in Guelph, Ontario, where he is the cluster sales manager. Warren has implemented many best practice merchandising elements, as he's going to show us right now. So Warren, welcome back, and take it away from here.
Thank you very much, Darlene, and hi everyone. Thank you for having me here today. And what I'm going to do is briefly go through some of the benefits and ways that we've used the VBrochure to advertise our hotel and to share some of the information out to everyone. So as you can see, actually, the reason why we use VBrochure, it's a great all-in-one platform. There's no pop-ups and additional areas for the user to get lost. It's a nice, easy way to showcase the hotel with the various tabs, as you can see on the screenshot there. And it also adds the ability for 360-degree tours, videos, and customized descriptions as well on the side of the page for each photo. We'll just go through the next slide. The nice part is, again, every hotel out there and every brand has different color schemes and logos, and as you can already see from the High Peaks example earlier, you can change the color schemes to make it really fit the brand image of your hotel. The nice part is, too, is it's also an easy interface for both hotels and clients to go through. As you can see, again, it's very intuitive to click through. It's pretty self-guiding, and from a customization point, you can make unlimited changes and updates as well as any special offers as you go. So there's no additional charges for that going forward. Why do we use VBrochure? It's a nice way to really accelerate our exposure. Obviously, it's being online all the time, and it can be shared in many different formats. And like Darlene said earlier, you want to make sure that it's consistent, engaging, and also very interesting across all platforms. So as users are going to all these different websites to do their research, to make their travel plans, they will see that the same photo is across all different channels, and definitely gives a more consistent image in the eye of the booker.
And Warren, just one thing to comment on your the point about consistency. You know, when your media is not consistently displayed out there, you know, the consumer would go to one, you know, let's say they go to your brand website and they see a series of photos or videos or virtual tours, and then they go to another site like TripAdvisor and they see a different set of photos. They start to wonder, am I looking at the same hotel? And they start to wonder about, well, you know, if the photos aren't consistent, what else is not consistent about the property? So it is really critical to make sure that that happens.
Right. And also, too, I mean, the nice part is social media is obviously on the rise, as we've seen with Facebook. And, you know, I can tell you now, even I think I've got some friends' grandparents on my Facebook page, and it's starting to become more and more of an area that people are checking for recent updates regarding hotels, as well as also booking. And the ability to have the VBrochure as a plug-in on your Facebook page really makes a difference, and it's an extra channel of potential revenue to get those travelers to make that decision, and even the ability for them to make a guest room booking right through your Facebook page. So it's definitely great. The benefits of VBrochure, it's quick, it's very efficient, and very easy to use. It's a one-stop area that you can make an update, and it will reach out to millions of travel shoppers across all the different channels, like I said before. Very rich in visual media. You know, more and more now people are reading. You don't like to read those long, extensive paragraphs of descriptions. They want to see a quick snapshot of what your hotel looks like, a description, and be able to move on to the next area of your hotel, like the amenities, and basically have it in a simple format that allows them to say, yes, I'm going to book with this hotel, and be able to do it, again, right through the VBrochure.
Yeah, and you bring up another point, and I'll be highlighting best practices as we go through. But one of the things we know is that consumers don't read things online; they scan for information. So when you're writing your text, using bullets or bolding the text you want to draw their eye to is a really good example of best practice, and we'll see some of that as we go through here. So here's your next slide, Warren.
Right. So this is, as you can see on our hotel's website here, there is a area where right away you'll see that Darlene's actually highlighted it. There is the VBrochure right there on the website. And the moment people see that, they can click on it and get right to the actual images of the hotel. The nice part is, too, is that you know, very similar to an app on your phone. When you download an app and you find out that it doesn't really work for you or it's hard to use, you've got a 2-minute span as a app producer to really entice that client in making sure that it's easy to use. And I think that's what VBrochure really does well, is they've got a few minutes of attention span to go through all the visual images of your hotel, and it's easy to use and just allows them to flow through easily. So as you can see, we'll go to the next slide here.
There you go.
And this is the other areas that they can walk their way through. So you'll see there's areas where we've created some extra tabs here, for example, like Celebrate. And then we can highlight all the different items that we can do throughout the year to give them an idea as well, beyond just the guest room, all the other amenities and events that we do within a calendar year.
I like that, Warren. That's a very clever thing to do within the Celebrate tab. And to Warren's point, you can label these tabs anything you want. You want it to be relevant to what your hotel has to offer. So obviously, if you did not have a venue for weddings, you would not have a weddings tab. But you may have a pool area or a nice coffee shop within your hotel where people can relax. So whatever is appropriate. But what Warren's done here under the Celebrate is, you can see he's got Sunday brunch, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. So that caption is drawing the consumer's attention to the fact that, hey, I could consider going to this hotel. You know, take the family for a meal on Mother's Day, or a Christmas dinner or something like that. So you can use your imagination and highlight whatever is appropriate for your property. So good example, Warren.
Thank you. So as you can see again, beyond just the hotel itself, the extra tabs that you can use to customize VBrochure, you can also highlight what's around you. So people may be looking at Guelph, for example, in this case, as a destination to visit with family, and you can see that basically we can take advantage of these customized tabs and highlight some of the key features that our city and surrounding area has to offer in terms of attractions. So you can take it as well beyond just what your hotel can feature.
That's another good point, and I see more and more hotels are starting to include information about things to do in the area, because people just don't go to a hotel, they walk in the front door and then they never leave again, right? They want to know, what restaurants are around, what is there to do in the area, and so again, a simple, easy way to communicate the surrounding areas around your property.
Right. So here's actually an example of a screenshot of our Facebook page. Obviously, typically with the Facebook page you can scroll down, but for the example, this is the first thing that they will see before they even scroll down to the rest of the comments. Again, VBrochure allows you to actually integrate that software right into your Facebook page. And for those who are not Facebook savvy, or you've got someone who actually already looks after that, they actually can just add that app, be able to customize each button, and then go through it and install it. So when the user clicks on one of those tabs right on the Facebook page, they will see that there's various areas that they can navigate through and see all the same things that were brought from the VBrochure area in more of a Facebook template to make sure that they're not getting lost in the overall image of their browsing experience while still using social media. The nice part that we really like is that right there and then they can actually check dates and rates right through the actual Facebook page as well, which is a huge benefit and another channel to reach out to your potential customers.
And you want to talk a little bit, Warren, about the special offers. Janet has a question about, are these special offers specifically for your Facebook fans, or are you offering them to everyone?
Well, with the special offers, what you can do is you can actually create that as something that's available to everyone. But I believe also too, I think we can make that just as a Facebook specific page as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Different hotels are doing it different ways. I've seen some hotels where they want to engage their Facebook guests more, so they'll make an offer that is only available through the Facebook app. Or sometimes they just take a promotion that they're running elsewhere and they'll just upload it and include it on Facebook as another extension of their reach. So I've seen people do it both ways. It really depends on, what your marketing program looks like and what is it that you want to feature. So either way.
Great. And as you can see again too, it's a really nice snapshot to highlight all of your images as well. And like I said, more and more now people are going and checking out Facebook, and just again another extension to extend your gallery in a really easy way that still allows them to make a booking right within the same page.
And what I like about this, and we've talked about it before, is the tab Meeting Spaces is obviously directed at a business traveler or a meeting planner. So when they see the tab within Facebook, they're going to go directly to that area because they know that what they see within the meetings application is going to be all about holding a meeting there, having a business function. So then within the Meet application, you have meeting spaces, catering, accommodations. So it's very in context, very targeted, and very helpful to the people who are looking at your property to book a meeting.
Right.
And then similarly with weddings.
Yeah, and that's the nice part is it keeps it relevant to what the actual potential guest is going to be looking for. On the main Facebook page, you've got different buttons that you can add to your Facebook homepage, such as events, take a tour, sleep, and that way it keeps the content relevant to what they're looking for. So there's not an information overload.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. Here's some other screenshots, Warren, of your players.
Right. So as you can see, again, just examples of different color schemes to fit the content that is matching with that website. So almost as if the user might be going to TripAdvisor and say to themselves, okay, well, let's take a look at this. Well, TripAdvisor has the same photos and it's in the same template. So that's why it also adds to the theme of being consistent as well across the board.
Yeah, that's a good point. So just to reiterate what Warren just said, it's one player that gets created, and every time the player is accessed through a channel, that wrapper that you see, whether it's Travelocity or TripAdvisor, that's the wrapper of the channel. But Warren only had to create this player once, and then it takes on the look and feel of that particular website, so you don't have to do all that work.
Right. Now, so for the extra part that you can actually use VBrochure for, the nice part is for sales proposals, sports team inquiries, and even prospecting new clients. And that's the part now that's become more and more of keeping it simple, I think is the best way to sort of put it, is when your potential client is going out there and looking to book their group or their big event at a hotel. Sometimes they just want to have simple information and be able to look at what your hotel has to offer in, again, a one-stop shop sort of template that is engaging. For proposals, especially with sports team inquiries, sometimes, and I see it more and more, is that teams are just using email. They're not picking up the phone as much anymore, and you will get that email saying, I'm interested in booking these dates for my team. Do you have any availability, and can you tell me more about your hotel? The nice part is that you can be that first person to respond to their request right away. Chances are they might be shopping around, and you can get back to them and say, absolutely, we've got the space available, our rates are here, and more importantly, this is what our hotel has to offer. And it's just either the booking link saying, click here to view our VBrochure, and coupled with the rate offerings that you can put back in an email, you're staying to the same communication channel that they are using. And we find that most of the time once they are able to do that and see it in a easy-to-use format, they're really happy with it, and chances are they come back and ask to go ahead and book, which is when I kind of need their phone number.
Excellent.
Yeah, so as far as it goes, for the results of using VBrochure, it really differentiates us from our competitors. Even just adding on to what I just said with the email inquiries, it creates a more interactive experience. If a user goes to our Facebook page, they can go very easily through all the slides and be able to book online. Sometimes it might just be that extra functionality that will allow them to be able to book online, which makes them realize that they look at this hotel and say, wow, they're really well connected across all these channels, and it makes you really stand out from your competition. It makes your Facebook page more functional and attractive. You can be on your Facebook page and post photos and try and create more engagement, but driving the person that may not have traditionally gone to your Facebook page and be able to show them, if you are on Facebook, take a look at the various options that we have through the VBrochure. It may actually create extra and additional likes and comments, which you would have probably not had before. In addition, it saves time. It's a big time saver because it's a one-stop platform. Any updates that you do on there, any video content that you update, that is reaching out to all the channels. And like Darlene said earlier, VFM has connections to, I believe you said it was the largest
yes.
area, the largest span of travel
networks,
booking
yeah.
channels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the last part is, the clients really like it. In fact, they love it. It's less reading, more visual, and easy to book. So overall, we've seen some great results from it.
And Warren, this is a question that's come through, and it has to do with competition. Are the hotels in your area, how do you find competing against them using VBrochure helps you?
We find that it just makes it more simple, and it's really, we're starting to see that more and more with clients, is they just want to know what your hotel has to offer, and sometimes even just the price as a starting point as they're hunting around. And from what we've seen, most hotels will traditionally like to offer up a big proposal package with an endless list of amenities, right down to how many glasses are in the room. And sometimes it might just be that that person who's shopping around for hotels, they're in fact passing that information on to a decision maker who just needs to get the price, a quick overview, and we find that using that VBrochure, it really helps us because we keep it simple. It tells a good story, and that opens up the doors to further discussion on any details extra that they need.
Yeah, and it's competitive enough out there, right? So
oh, yeah.
Any tool that you can use that helps cut you, bring you out from within the clutter, I think is helpful. And as you said, one of the things that you like about it is that it is simple. It brings the story to the forefront in a very quick, simple way. And so to the extent that that helps you compete is a good thing.
Right. Also, too, to add to that as well, because it is online, it's very compatible across all different platforms. It's a link that you're sending. Some competitors that we find, they will send PDF attachments and things like that, and when they're getting forwarded, sometimes they're too large of files to be accessed by a mobile device. They're hard to read because it's a lot of text. And with VBrochure, it's nice and consistent, so that no matter what platform you're viewing it on or what operating system, it's going to look the same right across the board.
Yeah, again, back to that consistency
yeah.
thing. Well, thank you, Warren. That's been really, really helpful to our audience. We had a lot of great questions come in, so clearly we're getting to the heart of what people are wanting to learn about. And Warren is going to stay on the line, and he's going to continue to be with us throughout the rest of the webinar to entertain questions. So thanks again, Warren.
Great, thank you.
We're going to continue our discussion focusing on business travel. Corporate travel channels are really critical to driving business bookings, clearly. In fact, 85% of business travelers surveyed expect to take the same or more number of trips this year. And we have exclusive arrangements with many corporate travel channels, including Concur, Get There, and American Express Corporate Travel. With a VBrochure, you can have a player that's created and targeted to business travelers for viewing on these corporate channels. As an example here, we see the Les Suites Hotel in Ottawa, and they have included a tab, as we saw with Warren as well, a meeting tab, and it includes information about their business amenities like their meeting space, which of course are of particular interest to this type of traveler. And also note, I talked about bolding and highlighting with bullets. This is a good example here where in the blue highlight we see the key highlights and the bulleted list, which draws the attention to what it is you want them to be looking at. So another really good example. Here's another example of great targeting. This time we're focusing on a different kind of an audience, people getting ready to tie the knot. This is a great example of a player that has been designed for people planning to get married. So you can design and implement this mini website with our help and then syndicate it to specialty channels like OneWed or other similar type websites. Here's another example of how the Lancaster House in Bogota, Colombia is cutting through the clutter on the ever-popular site TripAdvisor. So when the shopper clicks on the traveler photo, there's a link that says multimedia tour, and then when the consumer clicks that link, the player is presented with the channel's branding, with TripAdvisor's branding, but it has all of those elements that are consistently displayed on TripAdvisor and all the other sites. So this property immediately gets the buyer's attention with these custom tabs, easy to read bulleted text, and a wide variety of media. So they have virtual tours, photos, and videos. And who doesn't check in with other consumers these days, right, before they make a buying decision? So you want to make sure that whether the consumer's on TripAdvisor, YouTube, or Facebook, that they have this consistent experience. As mentioned previously, the player is the most visible part of the system. Here's a look at what happens when the consumer clicks the virtual tour link on Yahoo. Here we're looking at the La Quinta in Columbus, and they have rich media available. And when the consumer clicks, the player invades the screen, describing the hotel features. And as a bonus, as we saw with Warren's example for the Holiday Inn Guelph, they also describe the surrounding area. And remember, right, one of the key reasons that you want your hotel to be engaging on online travel agencies is because travelers are typically using a search engine to find the hotels, and those online travel agencies are always on the first page of those search results because of how they buy keywords and so on. And again, you can see the bolded text, which is very helpful for the consumer. So we've discussed third-party website distribution and how VBrochure helps consumers on those channels. Now let's turn to social, mobile, and other web marketing tools. In the world at large, it's clear what the impact of video has been, particularly in the last 2 years. But to emphasize this point, here are some up-to-date stats in particular. Leading worldwide brands like Coke, Starbucks, Red Bull, and the like are finding that it's photos and videos that intrigue and incite interaction with their customers. And when it comes to the sharing craze, it's videos that are being circulated above all else. Facebook just surpassed its 1 billion registered user mark. But what's more interesting to me is that the growth of sites like Pinterest and Instagram are actually outpacing them at this stage in their life cycle. In some recent Forrester research, they shared that shoppers who watch a video visit up to twice as often as those who don't, and video players stay twice as long on that site. So people who play videos stay twice as long on that site. And that's important to note because it means that video keeps hotel shoppers coming back and hanging around longer when they do. We syndicate your hotel videos to sites like YouTube and to other video sites like Google Video and Yahoo Video. Marketing your hotel on Facebook is more than just having a wall of comments and interaction, as Warren was talking about. More than 700 billion minutes a month are spent on Facebook, and contrary to popular belief, I can assure you that many of these minutes are spent researching purchases by consulting business pages and asking friends for recommendations. In order to catch their attention and convert them into a guest, you really need to engage them with content and your story, particularly using the new timeline layout for Facebook. And I'm sure you're all aware that last year Facebook upgraded all of its business pages and have dedicated a larger portion of the screen for visuals to display large and beautiful images and media to really captivate the potential customers. So what you're looking at here is the Hilton in New York and their Facebook suite of apps. We saw in Warren's example his Facebook suite of apps, including the tour app that is designed to give consumers an overview of the hotel. And then we have the other apps, Special Offers, Sleep, and Celebrate, that also give you a chance to provide a deeper level of detail based on what's important to them. There is a booking widget that Warren referred to that's integrated within each of the Facebook applications. And your Facebook visitors are going to love that convenience of booking a room right from the page if the Spirit moves them to do that at that time. And additionally, a hotel that uses our Facebook suite doesn't need a standalone booking app for their business pages because you can integrate it, and by doing that it reduces your costs. So really start using Facebook as another source for making direct reservations, and make it easy for them to shop and to learn about the special offers that you have out there. Here's a question coming in from the audience from Cho, who wants to know who puts the Facebook together with VBrochure. So great question. The first thing is you need a Facebook business page. Once you have your Facebook page, contact us, assuming you have a VBrochure Ultra Premium license, and we will help you integrate the Facebook suite of apps into your existing Facebook business page. So we'd be happy to talk to you more about how to get up and running with that, and I'll have some contact information at the end of today's webinar. So at this point, let's move on to mobile. Both business and leisure travelers are watching videos from their mobile devices. Almost half of travelers start researching their trip from a mobile device, with a higher number of them starting their research from their phone, actually. Before we continue on this subject, though, I think it's important to articulate a couple of definitions. Like any new technology, there are different ways that people categorize or define mobile. And here's a good way to think about mobile at the moment. Today, it consists of two primary categories: smartphones and tablets. It's also important to recognize that people use smartphones differently than they use tablets, due in large part to the screen, device size, and context that we just looked at. Another definition that we need to address is the difference between mobile optimized and mobile compatible. You can see here that the two websites look very, very different. And people use the terms interchangeably, mobile optimized and mobile compatible, but it's really not accurate, because just because your website is compatible doesn't mean it's optimized. Because a mobile site that's optimized is going to render properly, but it's also going to take advantage of the device attributes and ensure features like pinch, zoom, portrait, landscape, swiping are all utilized. You contrast that on the left with a site that's merely compatible. It's going to render, but without all of the proper navigation features or appropriate use of screen size. And it's really important that your website is optimized for mobile devices, whether it's a smartphone or a tablet, because you want your guests to have a smooth experience. And that's why we implemented the V-powered mobile solution. Here's an interesting stat. Late last year, almost 25% of tablet users' last purchase was for a hotel. And TripAdvisor reveals that 65% of their mobile revenue is coming from a tablet. So note that photos, videos, and virtual tours can all be presented to your guest using all of the screen's real estate based on their specific device. And now there's a direct link back to your booking engine, a direct path to special offers, hotel information, making it easy for the consumer to take the next step. And as Warren showed you with the Holiday Inn in Guelph, you can also use this as part of your marketing strategy to extend your web marketing. So you can include the link in your email signatures and your sales proposals. And that is another way just to extend the reach that you have with every consumer and every person who touches your hotel. Here's an example of what the Best Western in Rockville has done in one of their sales proposals. They actually insert the link within their sales proposal so that the person receiving it can quickly see what it is they're looking for. And, you know, back to the competitive question a few moments ago, you don't want your competitors to be doing things like this to getting an edge up on you. You need to be at minimum competitive with them in this area so that you're competing on something other than just the price of your hotel, because that's the last thing you want to hold your hat on. So, as a part of your marketing strategy, you really want to make sure you're where your guests are online whenever they're shopping and from any device they're using. Use every opportunity to get visually connected with your guests. People remember 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, and 30% of what they see. And most of us actually are visual learners. So as we just discussed, you can get creative with your placement of the player in your sales proposals, newsletters, and email signatures. It's important to understand your investment, not just in VBrochure, but with any marketing initiative you consider. Here's a simple formula developed by a global brand to provide guidance for hoteliers based on the type of property you have. These numbers used here are very conservative and may be adjusted based on specific information. So let's review the elements for a highway property in pink on the very left. So they base this on an average number of views of the player of 200 views per month. And they took a very conservative conversion rate of 1%. And so they multiplied 200 views times 1%, and that gave them 2 bookings a month, 2 incremental bookings a month. Their average ADR was $80, and their average length of stay was 1.2 nights. So when you multiply 80 by 1.2, that's $192 in incremental revenue. The cost for VBrochure for this type of a property is anywhere from $1,200 a year to $1,500 a year, so that's about $100 a month to maybe $120 or $125 a month. So you can see very conservatively that there is a good return on investment. And then the 2 other ROIs shown here are for properties that would get more views. The more views you get, the more people visiting, the more your ROI is going to go up. And so we have a question here from Beverly. Thanks for writing in, Beverly. And Beverly wants to know what the best way to embed her player in her email signature is. So Beverly, please contact us, and I'll have that contact information for you up on the screen in a minute. And we'd be happy to have one of our customer success representatives reach out to you and talk to you about how to get that embedded in your email signature, because it really is a good extension for your hotel brand. So in a nutshell, to summarize, as a VBrochure hotel customer, you'll be assigned a customer success rep who will counsel and advise you on best practices and product usage. And you'll also have access to our marketing programs where you can learn, share, and collaborate with experts and peers on best practices in online merchandising overall. Additionally, we have tools like ROI calculators and access to white papers and professional guides that help you with your marketing efforts. So one last poll before we go into formal question and answer here, and we'd like to understand how valuable you thought our webinar was today. So if you could please weigh in and let us know if you thought the content was valuable. It would be very helpful to us as we move forward with building our content and improving it. So I'll wait until the majority of you have weighed in, and then we will announce and share the results with you. In the interim, Gary has a question, and I'm going to recap. Gary wants to know, what do you get with a VBrochure license? So to recap, on average, the price is about $1,500 a year, about $125 a month. And what you get with the VBrochure license is access to that customizable player. You have access to the Facebook suite of apps, the mobile optimized solution for tablets and for phones, smartphones. You have access to the reporting module, and your player will be distributed to all of the channels that we have in our network. And we have the customer success reps who are there to help you get up and running. We also have access to a professional services package that, depending on what brand you're a part of, may be included in the program, or it may be at an additional fee. So Gary, give us a call, and we'd love to talk to you in particular about your particular situation. Someone wants to know where they can get a copy of the presentation that we shared today, and we're going to be sending you a link with a thank you for joining us in the thank you for joining us email, and you can share and view that presentation again at your leisure. So the poll has concluded. Thank you very much for weighing in. By and large, the large majority of you agreed that you found the content valuable. So thank you very much for that. We appreciate your feedback. And to those of you who had some feedback on what you'd like to see differently, please shoot us an email. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that. So as I said, here's the contact information. I will keep up on the screen. Warren has also graciously given us his contact information for his information at the Haldane and Guelph, and here is the VFM contact information as well. You can go to our website for more information. You can shoot us an email at vbrochure@vfmleonardo.com, or you can give us a call. So another question from Sarah is, are there any other additional fees when a consumer books a stay? So the answer, Sarah, is no. There are no additional fees. It's an annual license fee that is inclusive of all those attributes that I talked to you about, plus a small one-time setup fee. Other than that, all of that incremental revenue that's going to be driven your way is yours to keep 100%. So thank you for asking that question. And this question is to Warren. Warren, what would you say is the biggest benefit, if you had to name the biggest benefit for the Haldane and Guelph of your online merchandising efforts?
Yeah, that's a great question. The biggest benefit is the amount of time that you can save with using VBrochure, because it is connected to so many channels out there. You know, if you have to sit down and make a list of all the channels and all the pages that your pictures could potentially be pulled from, you know, whether it be Google Plus or Google Places or you know, even the smaller websites, VFM has done such a great job of making those connections out to all these channels. And when the recording of this presentation will be sent out to you, I think there's a slide earlier that actually shows all the logos of the many different channels that VFM has access to.
Right.
So I think the biggest benefit is in terms of marketing the hotel online is the actual channels and the amount of time that you save. You know, having to instead of updating each individual one and creating profiles for each one, it's a one-stop area that you can just make changes, and it reaches out to everyone.
Great. Thanks, Warren. Appreciate that. Another question from Arvo. How customized can VBrochure be? Well, we certainly saw with Warren's examples, all of the tabs are customized, the layout can be customized, the colors can be customized, you can upload whatever media and whatever descriptions you have within your player. And so, Arvo, please get in touch with us after today's webinar, and we'd be happy to look at your specific examples and show you some customized players relative to your question. Here's another question from Tracy. Do you have free reign to edit your VBrochure as necessary? Yes, exactly. You absolutely do, and I think that's one of the things Warren was alluding to. You can make edits real time on the fly as often as you want. You can change the tabs, you can change the descriptions, you can upload new media. Let's say you had a new photo shot done, and you really don't have to wait for those changes to be made. So that is definitely a benefit of having access to the media within the VBrochure. Here's another great question from Cho. How often do the channels update the images from VBrochure? So great question, Cho. Let me answer your question in two ways. Image distribution is different from VBrochure. So your chain syndicates your photos, your images for you through Vscape directly to all those channels. And then it's up to the channel to consume those images based on their synchronization schedule. So some channels update images that are sent nightly, some do it twice a week, some do it monthly. So every channel has a different schedule for photo or image management. When you have VBrochure, to what Tracy just asked, the benefit is that as soon as you update your photos within the VBrochure, then that update takes effect immediately. And that is across all of the channels. So as soon as you upload a new image within VBrochure, it's updated on Travelocity, it's updated on TripAdvisor, it's updated on Yahoo, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't have to wait. Here's a hotel from John talking about pricing. John, please give us a call. The pricing is based on the amount of media you have and the type of media you have. So the more you have and the richer it is. So if you have lots of virtual tours or lots of videos, that would be a different price than someone who had, maybe one video and 15 photos. So the pricing is really specific to the kind of media that the hotel has, and we'd be happy to talk to you more specifically about what your needs are for your franchise with your multiple hotels. So here's another question from Cheryl. Is there any extra charge for the Facebook suite of apps and the mobile websites? No. Once you subscribe to VBrochure Ultra Premium, then that license includes the V-powered mobile websites and the Facebook suite of apps. It's all included in the price of VBrochure Ultra Premium. If you've had a different license and you wanted to add those, then we would just upgrade you to the VBrochure Ultra Premium. So again, if you have specific questions concerning a scenario, please let us know. Warren, here's a question for you from Cindy Liu. How do you get people at the Holiday Inn Guelph to like your Facebook page?
Well, that's it's a pretty interesting thing because you can do it through a lot of different things. If you've got, areas where, for example, what we have done in the past to get likes is sometimes what we will do is we will, little things that you can do like through front desk to get people to like them, even with putting a Facebook logo on your hotel on your email signature is another way to do that. You can do little things like little mini questions, where you can put something, have a really zoomed in photo of something in your hotel room, for example, and say, can anybody guess what this is? Like first and then answer. Just some little engaging ways to get people to be more involved, going that route. So you can get people to sort of add some likes like that. There's lots of different ways that you can do it, even by combining other areas of social media as well. I've seen other hotels do it where if they will give away a prize once they've reached so many hundred, or so many thousand likes. They'll say they will pick a person who's liked the Facebook page at random once they've hit that milestone. So everybody feels like they get a chance in that giveaway, and if you can make that giveaway compelling enough, it can certainly help increase your likes.
Great. Thanks, Warren. Great answer and great guidance for folks out there. Well, everybody, we are 5 minutes over our allotted time today, so I don't want to overstay our welcome, but thank you very much for all of your great questions and your participation. Really, really appreciated it. Thank you for weighing in on our polls. That's very helpful to us. Thank you, Warren Wheatley from the Holiday Inn in Guelph. We really appreciate your guidance and you sharing with us what you've done at the hotel. Fantastic job.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody, and please join us next time on another webinar. Next month's topic is how to optimize for mobile, so please stay tuned and join us then. Thanks, Warren. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
For your